Well, how's it going today? Is everyone excited for tomorrow? Because I know I am. That's right. Once again, myself and Queen of Spade at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be going over some more of Warhammer's antics. This time it's going to be a nice little special one. Now, I have no idea if we're going to be going exactly for 4 hours, maybe even longer. I don't know. But I do know what we got on the agenda for tomorrow is going to be oh so fucking delicious in terms of Warhammer spurgery. But I figured to get us all in the mood today, we'd be going over one of Warhammer's more recent videos. It's a short one. It's a short one, only 4 minutes, and as the title, implies, Mary is the Queen of Texas / USA, and Texas and America must be consecrated to her. And as you can also see here, apparently Warhammer has once again discovered the ancient art of shaving because he no longer has a beard and a mustache there. I'm sure Warhammer was just excited to tap into his inner caveman, grow out a nice long beard and a mustache, but I guess his mommy must have put her foot down and say, you better fucking shave. You better fucking shave yourself, otherwise you're not getting any chicken nuggets for dinner tonight. So, no more beard and mustache for our special little boy there. He's still balding up at the top, though. He's still balding. He's still fucking balding, even though he's in his late 30s, early 40s. So, there's that. Anyway, enough fucking rambling. Let's get into this gem.
All right, very briefly, just very quickly.
Very quickly now.
I'm not going to say that Texas is a monarchy, it's a state. Okay. Texas is only an incorporated state that is part of the 50 states of America.
Okay.
Nor am I going to say that America is a monarchy. This has nothing to do with monarchy, but Christ is king.
Citation fucking needed.
Jesus Christ is the Lord and King of the entire earth.
Citation needed.
The Lord Jesus Christ is King of all the nations.
Citation needed. Oh, and also, does that mean he's also the king of the largely Muslim-dominated nations like Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Libya, Morocco, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan? Is he the king of those nations too? Because last time I checked, the fellas that inhabit those countries are very, very big fans of Muhammad there. They're very big fans of the Prophet Muhammad. They call God Allah, much like one of your little butt buddies, DJ Keem there. So is Jesus Christ the king of those nations too? There? Is he? Is he? I don't think he is. I don't think that's very allowed in those nations there. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yes, even the Buddhist, pagan, and Muslim nations, Christ is the king of that.
Well, you heard it there, my fellow Buddhists. Christ is your king, even though you don't worship Jesus Christ. He is your fucking king, whether you want to admit it or not.
And therefore, the Blessed Virgin Mary is the Queen of all nations. And yes, that includes...
So Jesus' mom is the Queen of all the nations. So Jesus Christ, her son, is the king of all the nations, and the Virgin Mary, Jesus' mom, is the queen of all of the nations there. So, is Warhammer suggesting that Jesus and his mommy are getting themselves into a little bit of incest there? That's what's going on? Is that what Warhammer's implying by that? that Jesus Christ is pulling a Christian and is hitting mommy's G-spot because old Papa Jehovah did a piss poor job there. Is that what Warhammer's implying? I know myself and Queen of Spade like to call Warhammer like the next Christian, but I'm kind of curious now. If Warhammer ever gets arrested for fucking his mom, is that going to be his excuse? Jesus was fucking his mommies just like me, so that means it's okay. Let me go now. Is that going to be his fucking excuse? I think it is.
It's Muslim, Buddhist, atheist, agnostic, and pagan nations. The Virgin Mary is the Queen of all nations.
What about the Jewish nation? The only Jewish nation, the one everyone cares about. What about Israel? Is the Virgin Mary the Queen of Israel? Is the Virgin Mary the Queen of the Jewish nations? Is she there, buddy? She's queen of all those Buddhist nations, those pagan nations, those agnostic nations, those Muslim nations, alongside her son and also love her as you described there, Jesus. But what about all those Jewish nations there, buddy? What about all those? What about all those?
So it would make obvious sense that Mary would be the Queen of Texas and the Queen of the...
Okay, now, Texas is its own nation again, even though Warhammer said in the beginning that Texas is its own state as it is a part of the United States of America, but since fucking Virgin Mary is the queen of all the nations, alongside her son and her fucking lover, Jesus Christ, she's the Queen of Texas now. One of the 50 states that make up the United States of America. She's the fucking queen now.
USA. And that Texas and the United States need to be consecrated to the Sacred Heart of the Virgin Mary.
You heard Warhammer, the man who recently converted to Catholicism. You heard the man now. Texas, and to a larger extent, the United States of America need to be consecrated to the fucking Virgin Mary there. Okay, this wasn't the fucking Pope. This wasn't Pope Francis laying down this proclamation. It's fucking Warhammer. 40-something-year-old virgin, neat, who really needs to take his schizophrenic pills. He's the one proclaiming this shit, not the fucking Pope.
Or to Jesus Christ and the Immaculate Heart of the Virgin Mary. Our Lady of Notch in Ireland is the Queen of Texas.
Okay, so it's not the Virgin Mary. It's the Queen of Notch. The Queen of Notch is the Queen of Texas now. Okay.
Our Sacred Lady of Guadalupe.
And also the Sacred Lady of Guadalupe. She is also the Queen of fucking Texas now. Okay.
It's the Queen of Texas and also the Queen of the United States of America.
Oh, and she's also the Queen of the United States as well. She's also the Queen of the United States as well. So we got the Virgin Mary, who is not only the Queen of the Buddhist nations, of the Islamic nations, of the pagan nations, and of the agnostic nations, but she is also the Queen of Texas and America. Even though Texas is a part of the fucking Union. I know I said once upon a time that I don't want to make money making YouTube videos, but sometimes I feel like I need to be getting paid to decipher Warhammer schizophrenic ramblings. Because this shit ain't fucking easy. It might seem easy to me, but to regular people out there, they just be fucking confused and flabbergasted over the incoherent ramblings Warhammer is constantly saying, all the shit he's pulling out of his ass there. And let me tell you something, my services, they would definitely not be cheap. Definitely would not be cheap.
This is a fact. that cannot.
Yes, it is a well-known fact that the Virgin Mary is the queen of Buddhist nations, Islamic nations, agnostic nations. She's also the fucking queen of Texas and the queen of America too. It's just a well-known fact that was not issued by the fucking Pope at all. That was not issued by the papacy. That was not issued by the Vatican Church. Oh, no. It's just a well-known fact, even though a schizophrenic man from Texas is the only person that is telling us this shit. It's just a well-known fact, guys. Trust the fucking insane man right here.
Be disputed whatsoever. This is a fact.
It is a fact, even though you have never heard the Vatican Church release an official statement saying that the Virgin Mary is the supreme leader of Texas.
Jesus Christ is king by fact that has the second person in the Trinity. He created the earth in the book of Genesis.
I thought God created the earth. I thought God created the heavens, the earth, the universe as we know it. I thought God was the one who created the sun and the moon and the stars and the trees and the lions and the grass and the dirt and the rocks and all that shit. I thought God created the world in 7 days. I don't remember hearing anywhere that Jesus was responsible for the creation of the earth. If my memory serves me well, didn't that Jesus fella come a bit way later after the world was formed there? Didn't that Jesus fella popped up sometime, after the world was fucking made? Didn't a bunch of other well-known biblical figures come before Jesus, like a certain King Solomon, like a certain little boy named David, like a guy who made a gigantic fucking boat named Noah? Didn't all those guys come before that Jesus fella? But I guess not, since Jesus was responsible for the creation of the earth, even though he was fucking born way long after the fucking the fucking earth was made. But this is fucking Warhammer we're talking about here. When is he ever wrong?
He is the heir to all of the promises and vestments of King David.
Really?
He is the heir to the throne of David, and he rightly sits on the throne of Saint King David of Israel.
I thought Jesus sat on the right side of the hand of God in the kingdom of heaven. That's what I was told. Jesus ascended up into heaven once he rose from the dead after he was crucified, and now sits at the right-hand side of God in the kingdom of heaven. So Jesus has another fucking throne to sit on too. Jesus sometimes likes to take turns sitting on one fucking throne and another. I mean, it's been about 2,000 years since Jesus, was last on earth. Maybe he should take a look at that other throne he supposedly has. Make sure the cushioning is still, up to date. There, make sure his ass is still comfy when he sits down on that throne.
And he also has conquered this world.
Okay.
He is the judge of the living and of the dead, and he conquered this world.
I thought that was St. Peter's job. I thought you were supposed to meet St. Peter at the pearly gates on your judgment day, and then it would be decided whether you would go to hell or ascend into heaven. I thought that was St. Peter's job, but I guess St. Peter fucking retired or is maybe on vacation now that Jesus apparently stepped in to fill that role there.
by right of dying on the cross for the sins of the world. And for this, and for the remission of sin, and for the mystical body of Christ that was poured out at the crucifixion, and through the breathing, his breath that he breathed on the apostles at the Last Supper.
So Jesus breathed on the apostles during the Last Supper? If I'm not mistaken, 50 days after the resurrection of Christ, the Holy Spirit breathed onto the disciples. That's why we have the holiday known as Pentecost. If my memory serves me well, during the Last Supper, right before Jesus was to be crucified, he took bread, he broke it, he gave pieces of bread to his disciples, and he told unto them that this is his body, and that they shall remember this bread as his body in remembrance of Jesus. And then he took the wine and he passed it around. He made all of the fucking apostles drink from it, and he says, "This is my blood that is in this cup. Remember it as to be when you remember of me." And that I don't remember hearing about Jesus breathing on people during the Last Supper. He shared some bread, he shared some wine, and he also washed his disciples' feet, but definitely nothing about breathing. Definitely nothing about breathing on people.
And the consecration of the Holy Eucharist, which is the supper of the Lamb that was consecrated as a sacrament at the Last Supper by these.
Okay, all the stories that I've heard about the Last Supper, I never heard about lamb being on the menu that night there. I never heard anything about lamb being on the menu that night there. Maybe they did have lamb. It was during Passover when the series of events happened. Maybe lamb was on the fucking menu. I don't know. But I know bread and wine was definitely served during the Last Supper.
Jesus is king of all the nations of the earth. And as is shown in the book of Kings and the book of Chronicles, a reigning king of Israel or a reigning king of Judah would have their mother crowned as the reigning queen. And she was the queen mother of that nation. And in line with Judaic tradition, with Jewish tradition of the Old Testament, the Virgin Mary is the Mother of God. She is the Queen of Peace, the Holy Virgin Mother Queen of Heaven. And by right of Jesus, who is the King of Texas, the King of the United States of America.
Okay, so not only is the Virgin Mary and Jesus the kings and queens of all the Buddhist and all the Islamic and all the pagan and all the agnostic fucking nations of the world, but they are also the kings and queens of Texas and also America, even though Texas is a fucking state in America. It's not its own nation. It's not its own nation. There. It's not. And again, okay, what gives Warhammer the right to declare that Texas, that the Virgin Mary and Jesus Christ are the kings and queens of Texas? Last time I checked, this fucking goofy idiot you see before you is not the fucking Pope. This gigantic Mongoloid is not the fucking Pope. He is not in charge of the Catholic Church. He is not in charge of the fucking Vatican. So what gives Warhammer the fucking right to declare that Jesus Christ is the King of Texas? This man only recently converted to Catholicism, and now he's deciding, you know what? We don't need the fucking Pope to tell us what's true and what's not. I'm just gonna flat out say that Jesus is the motherfucking king of Texas. I wonder what would happen if someone were to send this video to the fucking Vatican. I wonder what would happen if someone were to send this video of this fucking goofy idiot proclaiming to the heavens above that Jesus is the king of Texas. I wonder what would happen there. Would Warhammer get excommunicated? Probably. I mean, it isn't the first time the Catholic Church has lost its shit over people usurping their power there. They threw a fucking temper tantrum when Martin Luther nailed his 13 Theses to the door of some cathedral in Germany. I know they threw a temper tantrum over that. They threw a temper tantrum over fucking Freemasonry. So it honestly wouldn't be surprising if the fucking Catholic Church threw a temper tantrum over Warhammer's batshit insane hot takes of Jesus being the king of Texas.
And the king of all the nations of the entire world, our blessed Lady of Guadalupe and our blessed Lady of Nulch, is the Queen of Texas, the Queen of the United States of America.
Texas is not its own nation. It's a part of the Union. It's a part of America. Stupid. Stop confusing the two. Just flat out say that Jesus is the king of Texas. Just flat out say that Jesus is the king of America and fucking the Virgin Mary is the Queen of America. Why do you gotta throw Texas and America in the same fucking sentence? They're the same thing. They're not two different entities. They're the same fucking thing. They're all part of the United States.
And the Queen of all the nations of the earth. We,
except the Jewish nations, apparently,
are her subjects. Mary is the queen of all Texans, and she is the queen of all Americans. And on that note, I'm finished.
Okay, so I'm just kind of curious. What if I were to make a video saying that Jesus Christ is the king of all Bostonians, is the king of Boston, and also the king of America? Would Warhammer be okay with it, or would he throw a temper tantrum? I'm kind of curious now. I'm kind of curious. What if I were to say that the Virgin Mary is the Queen of Pittsburgh in America? Would Warhammer be okay with it, or would he throw a temper tantrum? I'm kind of curious now.
With my statement, have a good one.
Oh, holy fuck. So yeah, that was fucking something, wasn't it? Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary are the king of all the Buddhist nations, Muslim nations, atheist nations, and agnostic nations. But they're apparently not the fucking kings and queens of all the Jewish nations. And they're also not only exclusively the king and queen of Texas, but they're also the king and queen of America. So says Warhammer the Schizophrenic. Holy fuck. Oh boy. That was quite something now, wasn't it? And hey, if you want to watch more of Warhammer's incoherent ramblings, check out the stream I'm going to be doing with Queen of Spade tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be leaving a link to that in the description below, and I also will be advertising the link on my community post just before we go live, so hope to see y'all there.